guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is my open book. Today we are going to be doing a final flip through of my 2025 reading journal. So grab a drink and grab a snack and let's get into it. Alright, so here we have my reading journal from 2025. I honestly don't remember where I got these stickers from, so I'm sorry I cannot link them for you, but there's so many good ones on Etsy, or I found the best luck going to like local indie bookstores. They have great ones. But this is just a like spiral bound bullet journal that I got off of Amazon. It's not the best quality, I'm not gonna lie. Like it kind of bowed in the back, like on the pages I didn't even use. It had like an elastic, but it broke like within the first month of me using it. So not the best, but you know, it got the job done. So this is my cover page. I did a little open book with 2025. I did love how that came out. I'm glad that I did that. Here was my completed library / bookshelves. So I color coordinated it based on what I rated each book. So every blue was a 5-star or a 6-star. Every yellow is a 3-star, green is 4 stars, orange is 2. And did I even have any 1-stars? This might be a red. The red is kind of like a pastel-y, so it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe this one is probably a 1-star. Not that many, so that's pretty good. And I'm actually happy that this is not completely filled because I put, I think, like over 200 slots on here. And one of my goals for 2025 was actually to read less. So I still read like 150 books, which is a lot, but I wanted to slow down more, and I feel like I'm definitely working more towards that. Then we had my best of the month spread. So I picked my favorite book from each month. I printed out the book cover here. And then on this side, I did like a book bracket. I love doing this. I'll definitely be doing this in probably every reading journal I ever have because otherwise it could be hard to remember like what your favorites were, and it could be hard to pick what your top book of the year is. But it was definitely very close between Redeeming 6 and Fearless. I ended up going with Fearless, but I feel like it depends on the day, truly. These were definitely my top 2 books of the year. But yeah, I love doing this, and you will definitely see this in my 2026 reading journal too. Then I did a spread to keep track of all of our book club books this year. This is for the Thrilling Romance book club I have with Katie. And I put what I rated each book as well. So I'll definitely be keeping that. Then I did my Hall of Fame. This was to keep track of all of my 5-star reads, which if you haven't seen my 5-star tier ranking video, I will link that so you can see if my feelings still held true. Yeah, I do like keeping track of how many 5 stars I have. I feel like I do give 5 stars kind of a lot. I think I had like 66 5-star ratings out of 150. So do with that what you will. I did still have more room though, so I planned ahead. Then I put some of my favorite quotes from the year. This was really fun. I loved being able to keep track of quotes because I highlight so many things when I read and I feel like I never go back to them. So this is nice to kind of pick and choose the ones that I definitely want to go back to and remember. Then I did keep a little DNF graveyard to keep track of the books I DNF'd. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in my new journal because I do already have a shelf on Goodreads to keep track of my DNFs. And it's like, do I want them to have a space in my journal? Not really. So I don't think I'm going to be keeping this into the next year, but it was still nice to keep track of, I guess. Then the series tracker, also going to look a little bit different. You'll see in the next video. But I basically did a line per series, which is definitely the best space saving option. There are definitely more aesthetic ways of doing it, but because I was in the middle of so many series, I didn't want it to take up that many pages. So this was perfect for me. Then we'll kind of go through some of my different monthly spreads. I kind of changed it up a lot throughout the year. This was how I decided to do January. Not my favorite. I didn't mind the way it looks, but just keeping up with the calendar was kind of annoying. So I don't think, well, I didn't do it the rest of the year, so that should tell you something. I did love doing like scrapbook style or like junk journal type spreads for my 6-star reads. That was probably my favorite part of this journal. So this was from Tide by Carrie and Cole. It's like you can make a Pinterest board for every book that you love, and it's really fun. This is my February TBR. I did like the Candy Hearts theme, and I kind of kept the hearts theme throughout the month, and this was like the only month I was actually writing reviews. So it looks really great when it's all completed, but you'll see in some other months I never actually went back and did them, so they look kind of silly now, but it's fine. We got some more 6-star spreads. I had 3 6-star books from the month of February. This is my March TBR. I liked the kind of book stack, really cute. But then it's not as satisfying when you don't get to fill them in. So I don't know. Then I wanted to go back and write reviews on the inside of these book covers, but as you can see, I never did. So out of sight, out of mind. It's fine. But I did like this Lucky Charms theme. I thought that was really cute. Okay, then I did a spread for the Miss Marple series and for Indigo, which was a 6-star read. I do love these wrap-ups. I like seeing my stats in terms of what format I read the most, what genre I read the most, even though it's almost always romance, but it's nice to see the other ones mixed in. How I rated things, my top book of the quarter, my shortest, my longest, how many books I read. This I was consistent with, and I'm glad that I was, because I love seeing stats like that. April was kind of a wash, no pun intended. This one came out pretty cute, but then I kind of lost interest. You could tell this was totally half-assed, and I didn't even do that well with the TBR. I only read 4 of the books, so April page was not in a good space, clearly. Never wrote my reviews. It's fine. Another 6-star spread for Wild and Wrangled. This was my May TBR. This is probably the most consistent type of spread that I did, with this little tracker here where I put the title, the genre, the page count, and the star rating. I kind of changed these a little bit, but I did like having like at a glance all the books I read versus what was on my TBR. And I like this little spring floral theme that I did. 6-star spread. This was my June like bingo board. So I printed out the bingo board and then I pasted the little covers on top like that with washi tape. Again, here's my tracker, my quarterly wrap-ups. This was kind of the most consistent I could be this year. Some of the other spreads were just too overwhelming, and it was hard to keep up with, I'm going to be honest with you. A 6-star spread for the Powerless series. Can we just take a moment? I'm obsessed with them. Okay. Then July and August, I just did a little tracker because I couldn't be bothered to do anything else. September, I did my TBR versus what I actually read. This was kind of inspired by Gilmore Girls, so it was pretty cute and not too difficult. So that ended up working out well. My 6-star spread for Redeeming and Saving 6. Quarterly wrap-up. This was the spread I did for the Young Decay series. I had left space because Havoc is coming out this year, so I will come back and put him in here so that they can all be together. This is my October spread. And then this is where I showed you guys how I was using Notion to kind of plan out my TBR for the end of the year. So we had the books I was going to read in November, broken up by week to kind of go with the vibes. Then I did the same thing with December. Then we finished up with my last quarterly wrap up. So that's everything for my 2025 reading journal. I do have all these empty pages that I don't know what to do with, to be honest, but they're there if I ever want to use them. So the thing with this reading journal, I do love the aesthetic of it. I think it was really fun for what it was. I did enjoy doing my 6-star spreads, but In my next video, I'm going to show you my current setup for 2026 and how I'm going to use a reading journal, but I'm also going to be incorporating Notion on my computer to do certain things. Because honestly, while this was cool, this was a lot of work, and you kind of saw towards the end of the year, I kind of fell off of it and I wasn't as consistent. The spreads were not as well thought out, and it just felt like an afterthought, or it felt more like something I had to do instead of something that I enjoyed doing. So we're going to change it up. So be sure you are subscribed so you can see how my 2026 setup is going to be a little bit different. And I'm excited to share it with you guys. Bye.